UK Prime Minister Keir said him along with US President Joe Biden will discuss Ukraine's use of long-range missiles into Russian territory at the UN General Assembly in New York the week after next, indicating that the decision was put off for the moment. Let me remind you, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has been pleading for months to let Ukraine fire Western missiles, including US ATACMS and British Storm Shadows, deep into Russia. However, Russian President Vladimir Putin has warned that NATO would be at war with Moscow if it gives Kyiv the go-ahead. Now, in a meeting with Starmer at the White House, Biden played down the warning by his Russian counterpart.
Elsewhere in the world, I think that
secure a deal in the Middle East, release the remaining hostages. I don't think much about Vladimir Putin.
Now, before the meeting, White House had taken a similar tone, calling the threats of war, and I'm quoting here, incredibly dangerous but not new.
War can end. This war, the war that we're seeing in Ukraine, the aggression from Russia can end today. Can end today. Russia can move their troops out of Ukraine, and it can end. So that type of rhetoric is incredibly dangerous, but it's not new. It's certainly not new.
The announcement about.
Now, in the midst of the threats, the German Air Force on Friday said that a Russian military plane was intercepted by NATO planes and was escorted out over the Baltic Sea. Meanwhile, at the United Nations Security Council meeting, US accused Iran and China of prolonging the Russia-Ukraine war. Deputy US Ambassador to the UN, Robert A. Wood, highlighted the seriousness of transfer of weapons and their components into the conflict in Kyiv, which he underscored was started by Moscow.
World War II. Prolonging the conflict. Transfers to the aggressor are enabling the largest invasion of Europe since World War II, prolonging the conflict, undermining the UN Charter, and endangering European security.
Tensions persist on the battlefield, though. 2 people were killed in a Russian airstrike in Ukraine's Sumy region. 9 others, including a child, injured in the incident. This, according to Ukraine's interior minister. The ministry added that the attack damaged residential and administration buildings as well as cars. And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us this report. Listen to this.
U.S. President Joe Biden met with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer at the White House to discuss key foreign policy issues. They both reiterated their support for Ukraine against what they called Russian aggression and expressed concern over Iran and North Korea's arms supply to Russia and China's support for Russia's defense. The leaders also reiterated their commitment and support for Israel's security and called for a ceasefire in Gaza for the protection of civilians. Additionally, they condemned Iran-backed Houthi rebels and their attacks on commercial ships in the Red Sea. The meeting highlighted cooperation on clear energy, advanced technology, and economic ties, as well as Biden's support for the Belfast Good Friday Agreement, ensuring peace and stability in Northern Ireland. According to the readout from the White House, the talks demonstrated the strong UK-US alliance and joint commitment to global security issues and stability. After the meeting, Starmer talked to reporters. He gave no indication that the UK and the US will allow Ukraine to use long-range missiles to hit Russian targets inside Russia. Of course, U.S. officials had already said that there won't be any news regarding that on Friday. However, it's yet to be seen whether or not that decision will be made by the 2 leaders during the weekend or sometime soon.
For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.